Hey, I really like this topic. This topic was really interesting, especially when it talked about, since it's mainly about hypertension and really focusing, they had a focus on the minority population, specifically Black Americans, but also they did mention a little bit about Latinos as well. Yeah, I found it really interesting. One of the things that they said was that they were trying to, one of the things they want to do is open up 350 heart health centers, and hopefully that will help bring down the overall blood pressures, like the national blood pressures. One of the things about poor compliance of blood pressure control is the lack of positive influences in certain communities, and they really touched on that. They talked about how some of the fixes, fixing that would be, doing screenings at churches and barbershops. And actually, I thought that was actually a really smart idea, especially within the Black community and even Latino community as well. Going to a church or going to a barbershop is one of the biggest ways to kind of influence. In the panel they had a pastor there, and he talked about how a good example was how they did a screening after the end of the church service, and one of the church members got their screening and got their blood pressure taken, and their blood pressure was extremely high. Later on, the person found out, after going to medical to a doctor and everything, they found out that they had a kidney problem. So it's really important to do those type of things because it really helps prevent you from having worse things, because high blood pressure to me is the start of it, and then after that it can go off to other things like CAD and other type of heart failure and stuff like that. Another example of that they did talk about was they had a volunteer there, and she talked about how when she was 35 weeks 35 weeks gestation, when she was pregnant with her son, she took her blood pressure and didn't really think much of it, and then they advised her to go to the hospital to get her blood pressure taken again and to have them take a look at her. And it ended up being that she had to be induced for a pregnancy, and on top of that, because her blood pressure was so high. And she said that even after she gave birth to her son, who was premature, she still had to take care of her son, and she was given medications. One of the things, they had a cardiologist there, and he was talking about how he'll prescribe blood pressure medication, but the compliance is not great because sometimes they will never fill the prescription, or they will fill it and never take it. And it was funny, the lady that was talking about her pregnancy, she said the same thing. She said that, she did fill the prescription, but she didn't she didn't take it because she was so busy focused on her, premature baby. And that's one of the things that I found interesting in the whole entire thing, is that, you really have to, one of the things that they kept saying in the whole entire panel interview thing was they were talking about how meeting people where they are. So, everyone has their lives, and there's so many things that people are doing. You really do have to take that time to really kind of meet them where they are. One of the other doctors was talking about how he had a patient who didn't really want to focus on his blood pressure or anything like that, and he was able to kind of convince his patient within 15 minutes to kind of have better compliance with medication taking, and he used sports and tried to relate. And I think that's so important in healthcare in general, especially as nurses and whatever healthcare you're getting into, but this is a nursing class, so I think we're all nurses. It's important for us to really focus on our patients. I worked in the emergency room, and many times where I have patients where they're getting ready to be discharged and their blood pressures are still high. And at first I would the doctor and be like, "Hey, sure you want to discharge this patient, or is it okay?" But they're like, "Yeah, well, that's their normal pressure. There's no point in keeping them if they don't want to stay." And so, and I think it's important to try and really, put ourselves where they are and where they're at. So I learned a lot from watching this video. It was so great. It was very informative. Makes me want to even do more community work. My topic, like group project, we're doing District 5 of the Bronx. So, hypertension is one of the top things there. Obviously, the population is more Latino than it is Black, but like Latinos and Blacks, I think both go hand in hand. I think there's a lot of factors with it, not just genes, but also like the types of food people eat. I mean, like rice and beans, sometimes if you put a lot of salt on it, that's not a very good thing to eat. And I think, and I think the value of like the community outreach events is really important, because it really does kind of get there with the patients or the community, and it can help the community at large kind of help. And I think it's important for us as nurses, especially if we're doing community health, to really like try to help promote like more just active on being mindful on your health, because everyone has tons of stuff to do, and especially within certain communities, especially communities that are a bit poorer, that have to like work 1 or 2 jobs, or that have tons of kids and family and all these obligations. It is hard sometimes to focus on your health, but I think that as healthcare professionals, we have to help promote that more, because that's basically what it is. Because if they don't take care of their health, then we're going to see them in the hospital. But yeah, overall, I learned a lot, and it was great, and it was a great topic. So thanks Professor Morris for putting this video out. It was really nice. I liked it. All right, bye.